Hello everyone, got a little bit of a different video for you today. I've got a bunch of albie flies that I've tied up, and I'm going to be putting like a epoxy or UV resin on them to get them ready for fishing. And I'm going to cure them with the sun. So if you're not familiar, albies or false albacore are little tuna that show up in New England in late summer, early fall, and they eat these little bait fish. Snot bait, rain bait, baby anchovies, baby silver sides. And what I need for that is a small hook, but it needs to be a strong hook. So I use size 6 big game hooks. You can see some of the flies I've tied up. I've been told this is more of an arts and crafts project than a fly tying project, but the important thing is that they catch fish. Here's a look at the UV resin that I'm using. It's called Solar Ease or Solar EZ. And all you need is a UV light or the sun to cure the flies. So here we go. I'm adding some UV resin. In the first one, I add a little bit too much. Now I could try to take it off, but what I'm going to do is kind of rotate it around in my vise. You need some kind of vise that allows you to put the fly at 90 degrees. So it's horizontal. I don't know if 90 degrees is the right term, but it's horizontal versus the ground. So gravity is working with you and not against you. So I'm spinning it around in the shade, and in just a second, I'm going to slide that fly into the sun. So you can work with the UV resin in the shade. And I've found that this part of my deck is half in the shade, half in the sun. So when I slide it into the sun, it sets up almost immediately. And I've put a little bit too much on there by accident, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit more than I normally do. It's best to do this in small batches. So you put on a little bit at a time, you cure it, and I'm going to do that on the second fly. But this first fly that I did, it's already in the box. It just, the first one just snuck up on me a little bit. So the second one I'm going to do in 2 coats, spinning it around, evening it out. Now you can do this in a variety of ways, but I find sun curing it to be pretty fast and efficient. It works really well. Now I'm going to speed up this part, but you'll see in no time my fly box is getting pretty full. So the way I usually do this is I'll tie a bunch of flies, maybe I'll do 5 or 6 in a night, stack them up, and then pick a nice sunny afternoon, sometime when the shade line is about even across my deck. I'll bring all the flies out, use that Solar Easy, cure them in the sun, and after I'm all done with this process of loading up the fly box, I leave the fly box out on the deck for, the rest of the afternoon. Make sure that they're all cured up super hard, and then if you really want to, you can add a top coat to the resin and make it really shiny. It's pretty shiny on its own, and it looks pretty good. The other thing is that I'm planning on fishing these either behind a spoon or a water bobber or a casting egg. So I don't really want them loaded up with epoxy. I just want a little bit on the head of the bait to keep those eyes on and to add some durability and realism to the fly. I'm not looking for a perfect looking fly. They're going to be moving pretty fast in the water, trying to imitate that bait that I showed at the beginning. Now you got to be careful with the UV resin. If you get it too close to the sun, the bottle itself will harden up at the tip. You just need to use a needle or a bodkin or a nail to open it up again, and then you're back in business. I really should be putting the cap on after each fly, but I'm being a little lazy here. And just like that, the fly box is almost full. Plenty of flies for my first albie trip of the season. Okay, here's a look at the finished product. I've got some pink flies there, I've got some olive colored flies, I have different materials, I have rust colored flies. I just want a variety of flies in case I get cut off by bluefish, or I find that one fly is outproducing some of the others that day, or maybe they like a pink fly, or maybe they like a rust fly, depending on what the bait looks like. Sometimes you see bait pods and they look kind of rusty, and in that case I'd probably fish a pink fly or a rusty fly. The pink fly kind of stands out against all the other rusty colored bait fish, and the rusty fly, looks like all the others. So you just have to experiment. One day they're on one color, the next day, and it could be a very similar kind of day, they want a different color. Now, if they're on big bait, I just move away from the flies and fish larger spoons or albie snacks or plastics. But when they're on small bait, it's really tough to beat a small albie fly like these. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you made it this far. See ya.